So it's 6 o'clock. Let's go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live stream, our first live stream. Disneyland versus Disney World. Which parks do we like better? And here's my test I was doing earlier. I'm going to show this to you. It's kind of funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ha ha ha! But I thought that was kind of funny. I was just seriously testing it, but then Cindy said, that's pretty funny, so I thought I'd put it in there. And then here's our regular intro. Okay, so we're back. Disneyland versus Disney World. Which do we like better?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Well, we've been going to the parks for about 30 years. Sometimes we go to Disneyland. Sometimes we go to Disney World. And we live in Washington State, so sometimes we want a short vacation, just a 5-day vacation. We'll go to Disneyland. And then sometimes we'll plan a longer vacation, 7 to 10 days, and we'll go to Disney World. Yeah. So Cindy has family in Disneyland that are cast members, a couple of them. And so when we go to Disneyland, it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, we like to go to Disneyland. We visit family. And, of course, Disneyland is Walt's park. So, you know, there's always a special, something special about going to Walt's park.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than going to Florida.
There's 4 parks at Disney World, and there's 2 parks at Disneyland, not including the 2 water parks at Disney World. But
right.
We haven't ever been to the water parks.
No, we'll have to do that.
We usually go to just the main parks, but we usually stay off property. Every time, actually, we've stayed off property.
Yeah.
We'll rent a car.
Stay on property at either.
Yeah.
Well, I take that back. When I was in high school with my parents one time, we stayed at the Disneyland Hotel.
Okay.
A lot of years ago.
Yeah, so we rent a car and we stay either at a small hotel off property or a vacation rental.
Usually a condo.
You find those on VRBO. Yeah. And if you're doing in Disney World a 10-day stay, a condo off of VRBO sometimes will save you money if you don't mind renting a car and driving around.
Well, and it's convenient because we have a kitchen there and multiple bedrooms, so we usually bring someone with us, whether it be one of our kids or friends or whatever.
So which is better, Disneyland, Disney World?
I say neither.
They're both. You should really go to both.
I like them both the same for very, very different reasons, but I enjoy going to both. Like I said before, Disneyland is Walt's park, and there's still something special about that first park, and California Adventure is really fun. Also, we enjoy as a new addition.
So Disney World is a lot bigger, more acres, more parks. The parks are bigger parking lots.
Way more acres.
They have their own freeway to get in and out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you stay on property, then they have their own buses and monorails to get you right to
And
the
the
gate.
Skyway opening any day.
The
now.
gondola is opening soon. Disneyland is a different experience because both the parks are back to back. So you can walk right out of Disneyland, go right across the way, and then go walk right into Disney California Adventure.
They share parking. You know, they share security checkpoints.
Even with Disney Springs, downtown Disney and Anaheim is right there too. So it's 1, 2, 3. They're all right together, and their 2 hotels are right there too. You can kind of walk from any of that right to the other one in just a matter of minutes.
If you stay on site, you can walk between your hotel in either of the parks or downtown Disney. And you can't do that. I know there's a couple of hotels that you can technically walk the parks at Disney World, but it's a little bit of a walk.
Yeah. So at Disneyland, Anaheim, Disneyland Resort, it's right in Anaheim. So like right on the other side of the fence is city.
It's a major street. So
Harbor Boulevard. Catella.
If you can see Space Mountain from restaurants across the street.
So I like Disney World a little bit better because you feel like you're exclusively in that. You're immersed into that environment a little better.
You get into a Disney bubble at Disney World. I think a little. I don't know, but I do like being. Not in the middle of the city when you're going around Disney World, whereas Disneyland you're dealing with the traffic and whatnot of a busy street right outside. Just getting into the parking lot, it's just everything is different. So that's one part that I do like about Disney World over Disneyland is the fact that Disneyland is not right in the middle of the city, and it leaves Disneyland where they can't expand very much. They're pretty landlocked. And
they just expanded Disneyland with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and that opened about 4 weeks ago, and now they are getting ready to open Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Orlando at Hollywood Studios. And so the lands are very similar. It's an immersive environment. It's like you're on the planet Batuu, which is from the newer series of Star Wars movies. And one thing that I haven't been there yet to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but I've watched a lot of YouTubers vlog about it, and they have the characters from the newer series. Like you could see Rey and Stormtroopers, Kylo Ren. They don't have R2-D2, C-3PO, Han Solo, and Princess Leia. I wish they had the newer people there too, but for some reason, because it's the newer series, they don't have those characters. And I grew up as a child in the 70s, and so to me, I would like the nostalgia of the original characters. I would enjoy that a lot.
We would like to.
I'm not saying the new characters are bad, but
but we would like to see R2-D2 and Princess Leia. I think.
And Yoda.
And Yoda.
Yeah, I mean, meeting Yoda, wouldn't that be cool if you could do a Yoda character meet?
Yeah, that would be really.
And the way he talks.
I love to meet Yoda.
So.
But I think you still can meet with Darth Vader, but not in
Launch Bay,
Edge.
in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
You can meet
I think you-
Darth Vader, and in Hollywood Studios they have a launch bay that's near the Star Tours ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is they should take the area surrounding the Star Tours, and they should take Star Tours and make it the old original series, and have the original series characters around there, and make that like, here's the original series stuff, and then Galaxy's Edge is more the new series.
But do they ever have Princess Leia and Han Solo that you can meet in a character greet? I don't think so.
I don't think they ever
or Yoda.
No,
I would like to see that. If they're having low crowd levels, then maybe that's a way to get people to come back and increase those crowd levels.
Because they have the Star Tours ride, so it wouldn't.
Of course, the low crowd levels in Disneyland were probably because they blocked out the annual pass holders. So that could be most of it.
I think they just maybe went a little too aggressive with blocking out APs.
So let's talk more about this. The topic today is Disneyland versus Disney World. There's things in Disneyland that are my favorites. I like in Animal Kingdom. Well, I like the whole park, Animal Kingdom. It's a really...
That's a Disney World.
Okay, Disney World. Animal Kingdom, Festival of the Lion King show. That's really fun and exciting. I can watch it every time I go there and not be bored with that.
Can't miss Festival of Lion King.
Yeah.
That's the best.
And on my channel, I have a front row view of the whole show. You can watch Festival of the Lion King. On our channel, we have that video. Also, there's a couple of roller coasters I really like in Disney World. I like Everest at Animal Kingdom. That's a fun roller coaster for me to go on. Yeah. Cindy, you've been on it a couple times.
I like Everest. It kind of sometimes gets my tummy going a little bit, and so I only ride it if I'm feeling really well that day.
Yeah, sometimes I'll say, okay, well, you go get an ice cream cone, and I'll ride on the single rider line.
I don't mind letting him do that too, because I love Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom is probably, I say it's my favorite park, but then so is Epcot. But I think Animal Kingdom truly is my favorite park, and I love just to wander around and I think that's my favorite park to just explore and look at all the different
Rafiki's
animals.
Planet Watch, you go on the train ride.
Yeah.
That's fun. And there's another show with Finding Nemo. That's a good show.
Finding Nemo is a good show. It's fun, and it's indoors, so it's always nice and cool. And
they have Dinoland with the dinosaur ride. That's kind of like Indiana Jones. It's a similar ride mechanism, but it's themed of dinosaurs.
So which do you like better?
I like Indiana Jones better because the dinosaurs ride is so much in the dark. I think there's more to look at during the ride. But it's not my favorite ride, either one of them really, because they seem to jerk you around a lot.
I think I like dinosaur. I think it's fun to go get the dinosaur.
Yeah.
I think that's fun.
So other rides I like, Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios is probably one of my favorite rides at Disney World. You go upside down a lot, and the launch takes off really fast.
Even though it's a wild roller coaster that goes upside down, but I like it because it's in the dark and it's blasting that Aerosmith music and it's moving so fast. That's what I like about Buckingham.
And then there's Test Track, or in Disneyland Resort California Adventure, they have Radiator Springs Racers that's similar. So which do you like better?
I like them both. I like the beginning of Radiator Springs, and I like the end of Test Track, because I like the part where you go fast on Test Track and you don't go as fast on Radiator Springs, but I think the beginning of the Radiator Springs is a little more entertaining and kind of relaxing at the same time.
Yeah, I like Test Track because you go really fast.
And you get to design your own car.
You have the experience before the ride in the waiting queue where you get to design your own car, and sometimes that's fun because if you're with a group of family, you can get silly and design your car with big wheels and a big rocket motor on the back, make it purple and make a SUV or make it really low like a race car.
Just tweak it all weird.
And then during the race, it gives you performance feedback on a screen at a couple of spots.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Yeah.
I like that. But I like, if you're lucky enough to get on Radiator Springs Racers, kind of as the sun is setting and the lights are coming up in the park, because the way they light the ride, the outside part is just really neat. So it's very sunset-ish. I like that. You're lucky.
So I would say I like Radiator Springs Racers better because I like the side by side. You're racing somebody.
That is pretty fun.
Yeah. And what other rides? Oh, so how about that People Mover in Tomorrowland in Magic Kingdom in Orlando?
That's really fun. Another one of my favorite
It's
rides.
not a thrill ride, it's just a relaxing, you get on a little tram-like thing, and it's up on an elevated platform, and it rides all around Tomorrowland and through Space Mountain. It goes back through the train trestle area.
Yeah. But it's relaxing and fun.
If your feet are sore after a long day of being at the park, it's kind of an afternoon or evening kind of thing that's relaxing.
Or in the hot part of the day, it's shady.
Yeah.
Or if it's raining, it's covered. So you can get out in the rain. And
they used to have a People Mover in Tomorrowland and Disneyland, but then they took it out and they tried to put in these rocket rods. They were kind of like little go-kart things on the track that you could ride and race each other. But they took them out because they were testing them for a while, or maybe even opened it for a while. But then they had some technical issues, maybe some cracks in the pillars, and they just decided to take them out, and they never put the People Mover back. So when I go to Disneyland and Tomorrowland, I miss the People Mover. Also in Tomorrowland and Disney World, they have the Carousel of Progress. And that's a good, it's kind of like a rotating show with animatronics. And that's like a 20-minute show, but that's a good way to relax in some air conditioning too, kind of like the People Mover. Well, if you want to relax after a long day of walking around, you can go.
Yeah, the hard part is you may sleep. It's entertaining enough that you really didn't fall asleep. You're just exhausted. I love Carousel of Progress.
So some other things that you can compare, there's the Tower of Terror ride at Hollywood Studios in Orlando, and it used to be a Tower of Terror in California Adventure, but now it's a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. The same ride mechanism, but they've themed it totally different. And I've ridden both. You've ridden both too.
Yeah, I have.
At least once.
At least once, yeah. I've ridden them both at least once. I don't care for either one. I don't like drop rides here again.
Yeah. I ride it once in a while, maybe like Once every other time we go.
Usually, if we're with someone else who really wants to ride it,
Yeah.
you'll ride it with them. But it's just the two
I
of us.
did like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Instead of every time it goes up and then goes back down, elevator doors open, whatever, they put in big screens like a movie screen, and you can see the characters doing stuff. So that's entertaining and it makes it a little bit more fun. So I would say Guardians of the Galaxy to me is better.
I think
Tower of Terror.
I probably, if I were to say one or the other that I like, I think I would say I like Guardians better than Tower of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
Because Guardians is just more fun. It has its music and it's just more fun. I think I would like that one a little bit better. I like the theming better, but I still don't care for the ride mechanism.
So Disney World also has Epcot, and Epcot we like that. It's they have the World Showcase. They have all the different countries that you can walk around and taste food and shop and
eat.
Have restaurants in each one.
Yeah.
So they have Canada, UK, they have France, they have Germany, they have Italy, they have Morocco, Japan, and they have China and Norway and Mexico.
Yeah. That's all of them.
And they're overhauling Epcot right now. The entrance, they're doing some construction, changing some things around. They're making a new Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster there that's really large indoor building roller coaster.
That one's good. Looks like it's going to be a big, intense roller coaster.
I can't wait to ride that.
Yeah. That one's going to be really fun.
They're also making a Ratatouille ride.
Yeah.
So
that'll be fun.
Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, is that what it's called?
I think that's what it's going to be called.
Yeah, and the new gondola system goes right to that part of Epcot, right by France. It goes there to Pop Century, which is one of the value resorts right behind Epcot, and it goes to a couple other resorts. It goes to 4 different resorts. So it goes to Hollywood Studios and Epcot and 4 resorts.
Be a good mode of transportation.
Yeah. So, what else do you like? Disneyland versus Disney World.
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise, they have that at both places.
Yeah. Which do you like better? They're pretty similar.
I don't know what the differences are.
I really don't either, honestly. Pirates.
Pirates, they both have pirates. And I guess it's a little bit different which one has the Blue Bayou restaurant? Is that Disneyland?
Disneyland it goes through the Blue Bayou restaurant, and so the first part of the ride you're going through the bayou and fireflies and whatnot, and it has 2 drops. So it has a better beginning story, I think.
And in Florida, they have indoor waiting queues.
Yeah.
For Pirates and Small World.
Yeah.
But in Disneyland, they're outdoor waiting queues.
All outdoors, yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of It's a Small World, that ride starts outdoors, so you go through a little bit outside, and you can hear the clock, and the clock is really big, and it's really pretty.
And the train in Disneyland goes right behind Small World, so if you're waiting outside and the train goes by, you get to see it and people wave at you, you can wave at them.
Whereas at Disney World, It's a Small World is all indoors, unless the line is incredibly long, and if it's that long, you should just not bother, but
So in Disney World, they have Hollywood Studios, and they have the new Toy Story Land. So there's a new roller coaster, Slinky Dog Dash, and you can see the characters Woody and Jessie, the Green Army Men.
We have yet to see.
Yeah, we haven't been there yet. And now's probably a good time to mention that we are moving to Orlando from where we live now in Washington State. Our house is for sale, and we're moving to Disney.
Yay!
So we're excited about that. As soon as our house sells and gets a closing, we're going to move to the Orlando area, and we'll be annual pass holders, and we'll get to vlog more, and our leisure time, we can spend more time at the parks, get more exercise walking around.
Be in the
parks.
sunshine.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. I think living in Orlando is going to be really fun.
So, what else? Well, in Disney World, one of the differences when you're actually going to the park, you park in the parking lot, or you take a monorail from a resort or a bus, but then you go to the ticket and transportation center, and then from there to the park, you can either get on another monorail.
Oh, Magic Kingdom.
The Magic Kingdom, okay. You can get on another monorail, or you can take the ferry boat, which goes across their big lake, and that's kind of fun.
I like riding the ferry.
Yeah.
Across the lake. I think that's probably the most fun. I think the buses are the quickest when those are running, but
and from there you can see some of the resorts on one side or the other. Grand Floridian, the Polynesian resort, or the Contemporary resort. You can see those right from the ferry boat. So that's fun, a fun experience. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes to get onto the ferry and get across, but that's just another Disney experience that they only have there in Orlando.
Parking in general is a little different though, because at Disneyland you park mostly in parking garages.
Yeah, the Mickey lot, the Toy Story. Well, Toy Story is a lot, but then they have the Mickey parking garage, and now they have a new Toy Story garage that are right next to each other. The Mickey garage and the Toy Story garage, they have a tram that takes you right over to the park. If you park at the Toy Story lot, you ride a bus, but it's only like for a 5-minute ride.
It's a quick bus ride. But at Disney World, everything is flat parking, and they have the parking lot trams. And
if you have a disability, you have a scooter or a wheelchair, you can park in a designated area, and you usually don't have to get on the tram.
Right.
You can go straight into the park because they let you park up close. And if you have a temporary disability and you need to rent a scooter, then there's companies that'll rent you scooters. You don't have to have the disabled parking pass to be able to park in a Disney World parking lot there. But you follow the blue line, but then they have a upfront place for you to park with a scooter. But then they do have the actual parking disability spots, so you don't take those spots, but they do have a big area where you can park with your scooter and get that out of the trunk of your rental car or whatever. So also another ride I like, about California Adventure, Pixar Pier is fun. Last summer we got to go there, and I rode the Incredicoaster. And that's really fun because they have Jack, the Incredibles characters, Edna Mode, and the way that it's been rethemed is fun and exciting. There's a little bit of comedy aspect of it. When the ride is finishing, you get to see a scene from the Incredibles, and it's fun. I also like Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters. Those are the little Italian cars that do a dance and they spin around, and that's real fun. We like to do that.
That's a silly but really fun ride.
So some funny things that we've done or that have happened to us when we go to the parks. One time Cindy's ears were on backwards and nobody noticed for a while. And here, I'll play this cut for you. Watch this.
Are my ears seriously on backwards and nobody told me? Oh man.
So we're waiting in line for a ride, and she sees herself in a mirror. She's like, "Are my ears seriously on backwards?" And nobody told me. I'm like, "Yeah." Now that you mention it, hey Cindy, your ears are on backwards.
I don't know how long.
And we were there with several family members who
No one
could
said
have
anything.
noticed that.
No one said. Oh.
Yeah. Another thing funny that happened, one time we got lost on the freeway at night, leaving one of the parks in a rental car, and somehow I wasn't watching the GPS properly, the navigation system, and I took the wrong exit, and then somehow I got off on one of those little clover roads they have, and we went around in a loop and went right back to Magic Kingdom parking. And I rolled down my window, I left Magic Kingdom and I came back to Magic Kingdom. How do I get back to the freeway?
I guess we didn't really want to leave that day.
Yeah. So that was funny. Her parents were following us in another car, and they just followed the same mistake. They were right behind us. What are you guys doing?
Yeah. Oh, we're going back to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
We forgot to buy popcorn or.
And then one time we were on the plane. We were flying from Portland to Orlando, and it was like a direct flight. Was that a direct flight?
I don't know. Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
I think.
So we're a family of 4. We had our 2 daughters with us. One was a teen and one was a preteen. And we get on the plane, and we're like the last boarding group. So we get all the way near the back, and we're looking at our tickets, and there's people in our seats. The whole plane is full. There's like, we can't see any empty rows. And I asked the people, are like, can you check your ticket? And they like showed it. We matched our tickets, and they were overbooked, the same seats. And we were about to get upset. And then there's a stewardess behind me and a stewardess the other way behind Cindy and the kids. And one of the stewardess kind of went, shh. I mean, she shushed me a little bit, and she just went, come with me, come with me. And then the other stewardess took Cindy and one of the kids the other way.
Yeah.
So me and Shauna got to go up to first class. And Cindy and Jennifer, I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, we ended up in the toilet seats, the very last row of the plane, right in front of the bathrooms. But not only was it the last row of the plane, but that last row had no window. We had a window seat and a middle seat, and the person on the aisle fell asleep immediately and slept the entire flight. We were stuck. We couldn't even get out of our seats, and Jennifer was soaking her mustard pretzels in a glass of water because she didn't like the mustard on them.
And meanwhile, we're up in first class, eating warm chocolate chip cookies, a really nice sandwich. Would you like a hot towel, sir, to wipe your hands? And
then we get off the plane and on the freeway, and Mike's driving to the condo. He's like, I'm going right to the condo, and Jen and I are like, wait a minute, we didn't eat any lunch. He's like, oh, well, we ate, so we're going right to the condo.
They probably I think they gave us some hot food.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
Hot food. We got mustard pretzels.
And another funny thing, one time we were at California Adventure, we were at guest services, and some lady comes in, squeezes her way to the front of the line right by us, and says, where's Magic Kingdom? And they said, oh, you mean Disneyland? And then the lady was like, well, where's the castle? We can't find the castle. Where's the castle? And okay, for one thing, it's not Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is in Disney World. It's called Disneyland, and yes, it has a castle, And the way you get there, you walk straight out the exit here and go across and go into Disneyland, and there's Main Street and the castle. So after the lady left, the cast member was like, "This happens all the time." So that I thought that was funny, and
Bronco Sprung Park.
yeah. And then one time, one of the last times we went to Walt Disney World, we were staying at a condo, and I got a really big kidney stone, and it was real painful one night. I didn't sleep all night. I was in severe pain. And then next morning, we were there traveling with some friends, and it was time to go get up in the morning and go to Animal Kingdom. And I said, "Oh, why don't you guys just go? I'll stay here. I don't feel good." And they went. I told them to go. It's not like they left without me, okay? So I told them, go ahead and go. And so they all left and went to Animal Kingdom. And it felt like it was getting worse and worse. So I called 911. I called an ambulance. And an ambulance came and took me to Celebration Hospital. And it wasn't anything real serious. They did a CT scan and gave me some medication and some pain meds. And so then they came and picked me up.
Celebration is a really nice hospital, by the way.
Yeah.
If you ever have to go to the hospital while you're at Disney World, Celebration is really nice.
But the funny part of this story is the next day I was better. We got a rental scooter, and I'm riding around on the scooter, and I saw a news article that said, if you have a kidney stone and you go on Big Thunder Mountain, your kidney stone might drop. So I was hurting pretty good. I was like, well, let's try it. So I rode Big Thunder Mountain, and the next morning I was better. So I guess it works.
It must. I don't know.
Yeah.
So if you get a kidney stone, good excuse to go to Disney World and ride Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
And it's the Disney World Big Thunder Mountain, not the Disneyland one.
Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is a new Tron roller coaster at Tomorrowland they're building in Disney World.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Magic Kingdom. That's going to be really fun.
Yeah, it's right next to the Tomorrowland Speedway.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be really fun. That'll be a good addition to Tomorrowland there. Tomorrowland, Magic Kingdom. That'll be really nice.
So, in conclusion, Disneyland versus Disney World. Is Disney World better? It kind of depends on what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
If you live on the West Coast, you might do lots more trips to Disneyland, and maybe take a once in a while trip to Disney World. Try it. If you've never been there, you might like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if you live on the East Coast, you probably go to Disney World a lot more. People from the UK travel and go to Disney World a lot, but a lot of people at some point will want to try both parks.
Well, it's always worth going to Disneyland because it's Walt's Park.
Yeah.
And it has some rides that you can't get at Disney World. So I know Disney World has rides you can't get at Disneyland, but Disneyland has some of the older rides that you can't get at Disney World. I think they're both really fun. We probably favor Disney World just a tiny bit, just because there's Animal Kingdom and Epcot.
Yeah.
If it's all about Magic Kingdom, you can go to Disneyland. But
Well, I did notice that Magic Kingdom is bigger. Well, like the central hub around where Main Street goes out into the circle, right in front of the castle. The castle is taller, and there's a larger space between the center of that circle and like where Tomorrowland gate entrance is. It's a longer walk to the gate of Tomorrowland. So there's just more space there.
Yeah.
Things seem bigger.
Yeah. Magic Kingdom
but
is a lot.
that doesn't make it less fun. But I do like seeing the bigger castle. I do like that they repainted the castle at Disneyland. I like the new color theme. I think the blue on the roof looks a lot better now. I like the colors better.
Yeah. It's nice.
The nighttime fireworks projection show, how they project onto the castle in Disney World, Magic Kingdom, like it's a bigger castle, so there's more for them to project on. And Disneyland, don't they project on the building in
Disneyland
Main
projects
Street?
all the way up Main Street, so that's kind of a special feature there.
They don't do that in Disney World, maybe because they project on the castle there. Do they not project on the castle at
They
Disneyland?
can't. I don't think they can as much
Yeah.
because I think the Disneyland castle is just not. It's not big enough.
Mm-hmm.
But they project all the way up Main Street, which is so they can kind of spread the crowd up Main Street, you know, and fill all of Main Street in because it's shorter.
So if you like to stay on Disney property, at Disneyland they have the Grand Californian Hotel, the Disneyland Hotel, and what's the other one? Well, so they only have 3. And in Disney World, they have a whole bunch.
Yeah.
They have dozens.
Disneyland has 3, and they're all on the high expense, and they're all deluxe.
They don't have value resorts.
They don't have any value. They don't even have any moderate. They're all are deluxe resorts. And at Disney World, they have from value all the way through deluxe. But the nice thing about Disneyland is they have the neighbor hotels, which are smaller hotels that surround the Disney property. And
so you have
a few extra
there's not
perks.
just 3 options. There's more options.
Yeah,
there's other hotels around there.
Staying at those, and they're within walking distance.
There's one on Coachella called the King's Inn.
Yeah,
and it's an independent one that's just a couple blocks away.
Yeah, so there's other options.
So in Disney World, they got a whole bunch of them.
And about all the theming you can imagine.
And another thing, well, I guess in both Disneyland and Disney World, there's a nearby Universal resorts too. There's other things to do during your vacation. But when you go to Florida, if you're going to take a big vacation there, you can also go to the beach.
Well, you can do that in California too.
Yeah, okay.
You can go to the beach.
You can go to the Space Center, Cocoa Beach, and the Space Museum in Florida.
Those are really special. And in California, you can go to Hollywood. You know, just kind of depends on what kind of vacation you're wanting.
Yeah, one time we took the Hollywood tour, a VIP tour bus thing that goes around Hollywood and shows you around where all the celebrities live, and you get to walk on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
So we've done that too.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that about concludes our live stream.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, gonna do the outro. Bye, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Click like on the video. Leave a comment if you saw this. Bye.
Bye.
I forgot about it. I'll wait until